And healthy. Well, today we are going to talk about a very crucial part of our life without which we can't manage even to handle ourselves, I guess, which is none other than decision making. Yeah, you heard it right. The way of decision making, the window for decision making. So, today we'll talk about that. It's a very interesting topic, by the way. So, need to listen it before it's too late. Well, let me start it off. There is a window of opportunity when the reactions bubble up from within us, as they come up from our unconscious mind or subconscious mind, which comes to the level of our conscious mind. Before they are expressed in speech or actions, there is a window where we can accept that or reject it, where we can bypass it if necessary and replace it with more skillful thoughts, ideas, and actions. That window of opportunity, it's plaguing, it's tiny, but that is the place, that is the window where we can take decision. For example, listening to a talk, maybe this one, and an impulse comes, let me check my mail, and you take up to, do I have a mail, do I have a text? That is not a conscious decision, that's a habit. Yeah, it's a habit. Without any volition on our heart, our hands go to the pocket to take out the phone, and we sort of get distracted for some time, and we put it back. That's a patterned behavior, programmed behavior. But at that moment, if I take a decision, I say no to that and yes to maybe the talk or learning or anything that's going on. That's a conscious decision. I used my power of decision. The power of decision is two parts. One is when you say no to something, another one when you say yes to something. It's very interesting that the English word decision has Latin root. Care means to cut. Our words like scissors come from that. The scissoring action, the operation delivering children, that comes from that to cut. So primarily means to say no to something and then you say yes to something else consciously. If we as ourselves throughout the day think, what have I said no to consciously and what have I said yes to consciously? I find I keep taking decisions for my own work, for my interpersonal relationships, maybe with regard to other people and other activities, external matters. I keep taking decisions. Mostly in regard to our own lives, we hardly take decisions. We hardly say no to anything. We hardly say yes to anything consciously. Unconsciously, we are doing it all the time. Krishna says Arjuna in Gita, the path to wisdom is to awaken into conscious action. When do you do that? Answer is very interesting. When do we have the power of decision? We have the power of decision all the time. Yeah, all the time. You see, often we make resolutions, this new year resolutions, the tragedy of our lives. New year resolutions, I'll do this year, maybe in 1 or 2 or 3 weeks or in few more weeks it's done, it's disappeared in some dusty notebook somewhere, if at all we wrote it down. But what we don't recognize or we refuse to ignore is that the power of resolution, the power of decision is there all the time. Not just one day of 31st December or 1st January, every day of the year, every hour of the day, every minute of every hour. Right now, you can take a decision. If I do not follow up on it, I can again take the same decision. What stops me from taking it? Nothing. The power to decide is most important power available to us all the time. Vivekananda says, when the sleeping soul is roused to its conscious action, power will come, glory will come, goodness will come. All that is great and excellent in human life comes when sleeping soul is roused to conscious action. Conscious action here means taking a decision consciously, saying yes to something what I really want in life. I admit it. I want these things in life. I admit it. I do not want these other things in my life. Then why not consciously saying yes to this and no to the other things? Why should I decide upon and what should I decide upon? Three most important things. Listen carefully what you think, what thoughts we entertain, what words we use, and finally, what actions we take. You see, actions are only the most gross, visible manifestations. Subtler than the actions are the words that we use, are subtler than the words, are the thoughts we entertain. Take care of the thoughts, and words are taken care of. Take care of your words and thoughts, the actions are taken care of. So taking decision about what to think reminds me of the story of a young man who went to learn meditation, and he told his meditation teacher, it's difficult. Yeah, we all know that. It's difficult. Why is it difficult? All sorts of unwanted thoughts comes to my mind, and then he gave him an exercise. He said, all right, do this. Keep watching your thoughts, and whenever an unwanted thought comes, take a black pebble and put it in the bowl, and the thought which you want to entertain, that you want to develop upon a holy thought or a thought of calmness, kindness, when it comes, take a white pebble and put it in the bowl. And the young one did it first few days. The bowl was mostly full of black pebbles. As he went on observing, watching, calmly replacing unskillful thoughts with skillful thoughts, slowly at the end of the year, the bowl was mostly white pebbles. So, consciously, we can change our thoughts, our speech, our action, which brings me to the second great power of mind I want to talk about, that is the power of concentration. Focus. Vivekananda says the difference between the ordinary person and the great person lies in the degree of concentration. When I read that, I wasn't fully convinced. I thought only in the degree of concentration and nothing else. Then one day, what happened was there was a guy sitting and reading. So I went up to him and asked, what are you reading? No answer. So I asked twice, standing in front of him, what are you reading? No reply. So I caught over his big toe and shook it and said, what are you reading? And can you imagine this is the person whose body I am touching does not react. He cannot feel it. He is reading the book. It's only when I lift the book and try to see the car to he got shock, like seriously. I was in a shock that he got shock. He was so much concentrated in the book. Now that's concentration. That is the difference between an ordinary person and a great person. It's scientifically proven that in 1 second the human mind can consciously process about 150 bits in the sense of information science, not more than that. And that includes our awareness of our body, that you exist, that you are here, your breathing pulse, your awareness of the environment, of our own inner mental state, all of that. And what is focus? What is concentration? It said that the ability to take the 150 bits, as much as of it as possible, and put it on your object of concentration, which may be your work, studying, meditation, or anything else. I read this in this book Rapt, RAPT, where the author talks about attention, importance of concentration and attention. And the author says the quality of your life depends upon what you pay attention to and how much you pay attention to. It's all the intellect that plays all around and which we need to have control upon. I think it's John Milton who says the mind is its own place, and it can make a hell out of heaven and heaven out of hell, which is absolutely true and practically, logically, perfectly fine and true. The crucial learning there is shifting. Learn to shift attention. When you dwell about what to dwell upon in your life and how you want to dwell on that, can turn hell into heaven and heaven into hell. So pay attention for the food that you give to your thoughts and lead a happy and peaceful life. At the end of the day, I want to say something more about your own self, which is you must understand. Yeah, this is a very intelligent body. It's taking instructions from you. Every cell in the body has enormous sense of intelligence and memory. If you keep sending wrong messages, if they actually act, you are dead because you are sending contradictory messages. You are not fully dead, but you are half dead because your thoughts are the only thing that acts on you. You can give it any number of exotic names. Essentially, you have turned your intelligence against you. This is to support you, not to discard you. That is it. This is supposed to work for you, but now you turned against yourself. It's working against you. So that's why take care of your thoughts. Take care of what you see, what you listen, and what you actually take in into your mind. And be safe, healthy, and always pay attention to your thoughts, actions, and reactions. Thank you.